Welcome to FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffin.
Welcome, everybody, to FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. We have a bit to talk about. First, not belated, but it was this week that my partner in crime, Mark Suffin, had a birthday. Was it a major birthday or was it just a birthday?
Well, at this point, it's just a number anymore. Yeah, it was just a birthday, but thankful for all the brigade guys that regaled me at Sam Adams and all the people that have reached out and just to see me see if I can take another trip around the sun. Thank you to everybody. Appreciate it a lot.
Well, we appreciate you a lot. That's why we do the things that we do. That's kind of why birthdays occur. So we can say once a year, we could say, we like you.
Thank you so much.
We like you. That we don't have to say it for another year, and then we can move on and do the things that we normally do. So I like you. Congratulations. All right, let's get on with it. So last week we thought we had all of the scoops, all of the things. We covered all of the silly season the last day, and it turns out we didn't cover all of it. Yeah. we had yet two other transactions. So real briefly, yes, Brenner is back, and we saw him. And then I don't know how you say his name, Mark Zuck, I think is that was a kind of a late addition, and we got rid of Santos. So now the complete silly season is over. We're back into normal season. So we have some additions. So let's talk about the Pigeons and the scoreline and what actually happened. I'm going to let you go first, and then I'll try to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, well, filling in the gaps is exactly what I'd like to see from this match as well, to see why we had such a disconnect at so many points during that match, and it was frustrating. It was frustrating to watch. I'm sure, the people around me, everybody was just puzzled at what was happening. We didn't see that things changed even in the first half, let alone at the half break, and then it just continued on in the second half. We just didn't make the adjustments needed to at least get level. If not, we had the better team out there. It did not show that on Saturday, and that's the most frustrating.
I think there's so many little things that I'm going to try to touch on, and then you can jump in and add to it. First off, the crowd was a playoff level crowd. The Bailey brought it. The rank and file. This is a playoff. From here on out, there's no other takeaway from this show, from this episode. From here on out, actually, I think it was starting last week. They're all playoff games.
Yep.
It's are we in the playoffs? We're in the playoffs. I mean, we would have to totally collapse, and even then, I think we make 8th place, even though technically, mathematically, it could occur. We're in the playoffs. We've known we've been in the playoffs. If you got 52 points, you need to start preparing for the playoffs. So that's what we're doing. What I noticed was the first time I ever noticed it was Evander was very frustrated. I don't know what was going on. Second point, because of how we were playing, we had no starting wing backs. So Luca was out. And Yedlin was traded. So now we don't have any wing back. So we put in Brad Smith, who's not a great wing back. He's the backup, but you put in the backup for what you want to do.
Yep.
And I thought for sure that they would do it sooner. That we have enough center backs that could play. Flores can play. Hadabi can play. But neither one of those were in the starting lineup. That's a bit telling. So we had to put Engel in the back three. We had Powell, who also is serviceable, but he
Yep.
is not your starting, particularly at this point in his career, not starting. So we had two non-starting wing backs against a team who likes to be compact all the time.
Yep.
So the best way to beat those teams is to have speed and players on the wings who can beat their man one-on-one. Even without our starting wingbacks, we put a lot of pressure on, but we just couldn't quite penetrate. We slowed down on at midfield. They were doing a good job of that. Again, this is like the third time, and it's not that they're faster than us, but they outworked us. How many times did a person come from behind, whether it's a foul or not? Sometimes it's a foul, sometimes it's not. But a person came from behind, took the ball, reversed it around. There was a period of time. Well, if you watch the scoreboard, and if you were in the stadium and watched the scoreboard, at one point the possession was 1,600% to 1,500%. So
Yeah.
that was kind of fun. But they had a lot of possession, and even when they were hustling, they were doing that. Other than the one, and we've seen it before, somebody ran right down Broadway. Nobody covered it. This is where we're missing Miles Robinson. He is the key. He is the linchpin. We don't have a player like Miles Robinson on the bench who's close enough to his caliber. Hagelin's good, but he's lost a step. Yaska's good. He also lost a step. There was some miscommunication, maybe some bad luck, but that was the only thing they did was a quick counter on a very bad pass. There was a lot of bad passing. And there you go. That's where we were. But I've never seen Evander so frustrated. He looked a little bit like Lucho, but I don't know if he was mad at himself, if he was trying to go too far back, or other people weren't doing what they were supposed to do, because this is too late in the season to have injuries. This is too late in the season to go, well, they need to gel. They're going to gel. Anyhow, what are your thoughts on what I just said, and any additions?
Well, the frustration by Evander was glaring. We saw it way too much with Acosta in his day, and it kind of reared its head almost the same way with Evander on Saturday. You saw him doing Acosta-like things where he's going on this side of the field, that side of the field, up, back, just trying to, honestly, he's trying to find a solution. That's what he was doing. And it was frustrating him that solutions weren't to be found. You weren't seeing Echeneke getting into space with the ball. You saw him being held up every time he touched the ball, or he could dribble vertically. Well, I mean horizontally, but that was it. You didn't see anything that showed a sustainable attack, and that's what ultimately cost us this match. It didn't work no matter what they tried. But the thing is, I wasn't seeing any, system change. I didn't see any strategy change. Now, granted, we've basically kept the same type of system, since Noonan arrived. So, it worked then, and it should still work with just some different pieces, but Saturday that didn't happen, and I just thought maybe we'd see somebody moving Echeneke to get him a ball into space. It never transpired, and ultimately, those kind of things, we lost. And it was scary to see Miazga going down in the second half with what I thought was a dreadful injury. Thankfully, there's nothing, being said about him right now as far as that, so that's great. The bad thing is, we do get Orishano back this Saturday. That's the biggest plus. Kubo went down again, and I just don't know at this point. He was gone for so long, but the new guys can't come in fast enough. So that's what I am banking on at this point for Jabari and Mark's. I'll just say Mark because that's the first part of his last name. That's a good last name, Mark Zook. So we'll just see what happens with them. Mark Zook should be ready. Jabari seems to be ready. So we'll just, and then, oh yeah, Brenner, come on. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Let's throw them out there and let's see what they can do for us. Because Saturday showed us we are had some glaring holes to fill, and these three reinforcements are hopefully going to do the job.
It's going to be very interesting on a lot of things. So we definitely need a wing back. Look, matchups in every sport, I've said this many times, matchup is a thing. We seem to have a problem with a matchup problem with Charlotte. We definitely have a matchup problem with NYCFC. They are clearly not the better team, but they hustled more. They were more cohesive in their passing, and our passing was terrible. Again, we're playing with two backup wing backs, which is the crux, the key of how we do things. We run things through the middle to get to the wings, to get back to the middle and cycle it around and try to find holes. But we couldn't get it. We couldn't get positioned and set. NYCFC presses a lot, and so they're in great shape, and they pressed a lot. Although our field is much larger than theirs, I figured that was in our favor. So if you keep things wide and you make them run a whole lot more, you're going to break them down, and we did. Echenike had a terrible shot on a fairly open shot on goal. That was, he just didn't get his foot around it. That looked really kind of bad. We had a lot of other chances, so it's not like we didn't have chances.
Right.
It's not like we didn't play well offensively. It was just that we were off. Powell makes a lot of bad passes. I've seen Engel make a lot of bad passes at times on wing back, but to beat that team, we need to stay wide and use our speed. So if you have Orishano, right, and they press, Orishano is going to take on a man one-on-one. None of our guys were taking on men one-on-one. They were being slow. They were trying to find out where everything was. Danke was running slow. Danke was like offside 2 or 3 times again. I know he tries to play on the edge, but we've got to have better offside awareness. With that being said, so what I'd heard from Noonan this week is that Mark Zuck, he's a plug and play. He knows he plays in a system similar to ours. Brenner has been here before, so we know what he's going to do. My only concern is that he's kind of a hold up player too. He's not a guy that takes people on one. Although I did see some footage from him in Serie A doing some serious one-on-one moves. So hopefully that is added to his arsenal, because 2 hold-up players and no wing back that could take on players is going to be kind of difficult. But what I really like is I watched that game, particularly against Danke. He was man marked everywhere he went. He was being manhandled everywhere he went. You can't man mark him and Brenner and Evander and Orishano. Something's got to give. And Orishano's the kind of player that even if you man mark him, he has the ability to really school you. And if he does, he can shoot or pass. And that's what I like. That's adding Brenner, Echenike, after he took that shot, everybody was like, leave him alone, let him shoot. He hasn't proved, he's a young guy, he hasn't proved himself yet. He makes a couple of curlers, then he's going to be a force to be reckoned with because of his speed. But if he's another Santos or Kai Kamara, I mean, Kai Kamara has scored a lot of goals, but he's missed a lot of goals here, and this is probably his last season, and so it's good. It's going to be good to have that attack, and we'll kind of talk into the Philadelphia game coming up, because I think that is going to be the quintessential game.
For sure.
What were your thoughts on the second half adjustments, the Dado, Kubo? The fans were very appreciative of Kubo. I didn't see anything how he hurt himself, but
he took a knock about midway through after he came in, about midway through the time he was in. And I mean, it was subtle. But you didn't see him as creative. He was still pretty active out there. But I'm just hoping it's a small tweak and he's back soon. Dado, think, just he comes in and does his thing. It's creative, and there's he's smooth with the ball, very smooth, and I just like what he brings every time out. It's just it never formulated into anything definitive because it wasn't working. I think the adjustments, just didn't come with the change in the attack, change the look, uh, possibly get a different way to, that throw them off in some way because they just focused on Danke. They pushed Evander all the way back to the back line, and the other guys were just sort of flailing around. And Nunga did all he could. Echeneke just seemed to be disconnected, or like I said, held up. It didn't work Saturday. So
They're a physical team, and it looked like FC Cincinnati was
not,
not used to the physical play.
yeah,
The ref, which was not Guido, but still was kind of letting the physical play go, was getting a little chippy there. I remember this ref. He'll make like the ticky tackiest call and then let the most serious offense go, and
yep,
uh, and so you just kind of have to play that way. But it seemed to me like there it wasn't I don't think there's anything Noonan could do from a creativity standpoint. I mean, certainly there are. You can bring maybe some other players in, but I don't know if we had anybody with all of our subs kind of playing the starting roles and our starters out. What we could do, but they seemed very robotic. It was like they
yep,
practiced and they said, you need to be in this space at this time. And they would just kind of trot over to that space in that time. Nobody was looking to make a through ball. Nobody was passing the ball into space, like you were saying. Echenike can outrun somebody, but you gotta put the ball into space. And even if
yep,
he gets beat, you gotta put that in the mind of the New York defense, is that if Echenike goes, whether he gets the ball or not, you have to go with him, and that's going to open up space. So even if he makes a run and you don't make the pass, somebody can fill in that space behind. Now you've got matchups. He can get back on side, he can get back out, right? All that kind of stuff. But everybody just seemed to kind of just jog and it wasn't hot. There was no reason for the word I'm going to use is malaise. The malaise that
yeah,
I saw on the field, because the fans were into it. We want to beat this team. We haven't beaten this team. This is the team that knocked us out last year in the playoffs.
yes,
I am really scared about playing this team, particularly in this format, because this team, NYCFC, doesn't care about being in the top four. They'll play their high press, pack it in. Let's see if you have enough talent to beat three people to take the shot and
yeah,
score a goal on us, because you're not. We're going to play for the tie, and we're going to go to PKs, and we have good kickers. And that's the only other thing I like about Brenner, as opposed to Yedlin, is we've now have another PK taker that's going to help us out in this piece.
yep,
So I think we've beaten the NYC horse pretty bad. So this game is Philadelphia talking about matchups. It's like playing ourselves.
yeah,
Every time we played this team, we played them very early this season before Danke. I think it was the first or second game of the season. We did play some, CONCACAF the Cup games, but it was like the first or second MLS game. I think it was our first road match, and it was with very very new Danke and very new Evander. We got beat 4-1. I don't think we had our offensive gel yet. We have it now. It's going to be a fascinating matchup. It's going to be the game of the year. I'm surprised they didn't flex it to some kind of Friday night special.
yeah,
Given you've got number one and number two playing for the Shield lead, you can't get a better matchup than that. Two teams, right? As we know, most of our front office and our coach came from Philadelphia. They play
yeah,
the Philly system. I know they have a different coach, but they still kind of play a modified Philly system. They're younger. I think we're better, but we'll see. They seem to know how to score a goal at the end. They had a two-game losing streak until last week, where I think they beat the Revolution. I think that's who they played. So it's going to be a fascinating matchup. What are you looking for this Saturday's game?
Well, they have to get past Saturday out of their minds. Be a goldfish, and the other Ted Lasso banner. Believe that we aren't that team from last Saturday. We are going to be the winning team this Saturday, and it's just going to take a focused effort from every single man on the pitch, and everyone that comes in. Just has to know this is a Philly team that is strong, but can be beaten. And we're at home. We've got the home crowd. We've got the loud home crowd, and it's going to be loud again. Everybody's going to know this is first place that is on the line, and we need these 3 points. So it's just that simple. We've got the new players in. One thing about Ayob that I think it depends on. I don't know if he's going to be the 18 or in, but Matt Miazga is going to have to change his neck angle to look at him because Matt Miazga is only 6'4". Ayob is a couple of inches higher at 6'6". So they they were saying in practice, this guy is very tall. We knew he was tall, but he is very tall. So I just hope. Now, granted, he's been in some two leagues over Spain and France. So I just hope, I know those leagues are strong. They feed the first teams very well, and I just hope it transitions to wonderful play on Saturday.
And yeah, so there's some things to worry about in the future as well as, but these are good things. We have Celentano going to the U.S. men's,
Yep.
but I don't think he leaves until after this weekend. Is that correct? I don't.
Yes, I believe he's there tomorrow, or Saturday, and then he will be off as well. As well, meaning Hadebe also will leave.
And that's the part of having a good team is that your players go play for their national team when it's needed. So that's going to put us in a bind for next week, but we'll worry about next week because this is it.
Yes.
I am expecting from myself, a hell is real crowd. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting playoff level intensity. I'm expecting not a lot of casuals. I'm expecting some hardcore. These are the kinds of things that I'm going to see. And while you said that, I think it was Maxi Morales. I was laughing my head off because Matt Miazga was marking him, and he's like a foot and a half taller. He was like, "Is that his son out there with him?" It was
Yeah.
hilarious to see that he's up to his navel.
Yeah, I think there's Acosta height, and Maxi is not that.
He's like 4'11". That's what he looked like out on the
Yeah.
pitch. Maybe he put some lifts in his shoes to be 5'1", but he was
Yeah.
tiny out there.
Yes.
Oscar was just, but it works to his favor because he can fall. He can flop like the best of them, and
Oh, and they did. And they did.
so some of those things, some they got, some they didn't get. So that was good. Right. So this is a very similar system. They have younger players, they have newer players. I expect this game, quite frankly, to be a high-scoring offensive affair.
Okay.
When we played here, what was that, 2 years ago, or was it last year that we won 4-3?
Yes.
We scored first. They scored like 2 or 3 goals, and we scored 2 goals. We got the lead. They tied it, and we got the lead again. I think it was
Yep.
like 5-4. That was crazy.
Yes.
Philadelphia seems that a lot of what they've been doing this year, a lot of their wins have been the 85th minute or later. So
Yeah.
I do not want to be tied in the last 5 minutes. If we give up a goal, I want that goal to be for a tie, not for a loss. We cannot drop 3 points to this team. I think the team knows it. I think the players who came here to win a cup know it. I think this is the week that they know who they're playing. I mean, some people don't know when they're playing Columbus and what that means because they're close to us. But this is a different story, not because it's not Columbus. It's that this is the first place team. You were the first place team. If you had taken care of business, you would have still been the first place team, and they would be a point behind you. That being said, you know that if you have any chance of where you want to be, if you want to win the Supporter Shield, this game is a must win. This is a 6-point game, as they say. And you better bring your best, because I don't think they brought their best last week. And we're shorthanded again. So if we get Luke, at least we have one wing back who's going to put apply some pressure. Brenner, I'm excited to see that. Does that mean that Madzek goes into the or Marczek goes into the on the other wing? Does Engel go in? Because Hidebe will probably play because he's leaving after this week.
Yep.
So that would be Miazga, Hagelin, and Hidebe, right? So if we do that, then Flores comes in for the next match, right? So I'm trying to think about the next match a little bit, but that's too far out because this is the most important thing. And I think
Exactly.
we need to be, as you were saying, more dynamic with the ball. I think we're being a little too predictable and a little too slow, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Dunga needs to do better. There was a lot of errant passing. And then we had to recover, which we did. We were the better team out there. I don't think there was any doubt about who was the better team, but it's not the better team wins all the time. It takes one, right? That's the soccer gods. A bad mistake on our part got punished. The ball kind of bounced weird around Hagelin and one-on-one, and there you go. But you've got to take care of your chances, and you've got to create more chances. And quite frankly, the one thing we didn't do was not only take care of the ball, but we didn't possess the ball enough. When you have a pressing team like that, you're moving around a lot. You need to get your mini rests, your 20-second breaks by passing the ball around, controlling it, making them run around for a while. They seemed fresh in the 90th minute, and we did not.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be it's like playing ourselves. Can we take the better of it? I think it's going to be a very close match. I think it's going to be, quite frankly, a draw is probably the most likely outcome. That would be the best, not the best outcome for us, but the best outcome I see. But we're playing at home. Hopefully they see this as the opportunity. And I think that's the thing to watch. It's not whether we win or lose, but how are we playing? Because really, we know we're in the playoffs. This is the top team. This is a team that we are likely going to see in the playoffs if we can get past our first round. Or even in the finals, right? So if we want to play the MLS Cup at home, we got to beat them here on Saturday.
Yep. And I don't want to bring up the previous match with the Union, but it didn't go well. We made Barabo look like a absolute world-class player who got a hat trick on us, and we just can't have that attitude going into this one. Now, last match we didn't have Miazga in the match. Buka was a sub, and it was definitely a different look for us, and it didn't work up in New York. So you can blame the field, blame what you want, but we need a focused attack and strong midfield that will be solid and counteract anything they try to do, because Gazdag and Quinn Sullivan, we know what they can do. They are quality midfielders, and they can get the ball around, and they can put guys in great position. We must defend that. We must get the ball, and we must provide our own attack, and hopefully something they can't figure out. And as a result, we get the better half of the score sheet.
So with this matchup, I think Evander has, unlike the NYCFC matchup, he's going to have a little more freedom, I think, in the midfield, right? They're going to be looking to get the ball and move quickly. We are looking to get the ball and move quickly. So I see a lot of opening. If Evander gets that ball, he's going to have options. The one thing that we have instead of Santos or Kamara or Baird or even Echenike, we have Brenner. We have Denke and Brenner.
Yep.
If you give Evander time and you cover all of those guys, he's going to take the shot. And I think he was frustrated from his shooting. He wasn't shooting very well last year. But if you're going to give him time, he's going to probably push the ball even further. Instead of taking a 25-yard shot, then you can get him a little bit closer, or he can make the pass, slip a pass to either of those guys, and they will finish it. So I think having a less press happy team is going to be in our advantage. I think I'm not as high as on our defense without Miles Robinson. With Miles Robinson, I think we're a lot more stout. Brian Anunga has to play his level best, and so does Buka for that matter, both offensively and defensively, and that's I think where the key matchup is that there's going to be some runs up the middle, I believe, on against this team. And they are used to playing their hearts out in the last 15 minutes, and we have to, even if we have a 1-goal lead, we're gonna have to play our level best. And quite frankly, can't park the bus. If I've got a 1-goal lead with 10 minutes to go, we've got to get a second goal. We've got to try. I mean, we don't have to do anything crazy, but you don't have to dribble to the flag and take clock off. We need to actually try to press those guys and see if we can't get another goal on the score sheet. So, any last thoughts?
Well, Matt, I just want to have you recollect on last match in which I think it was your row got some kind of award or recognition. I want you to go into that if you could, please.
So I'm hearing people, this is like the 38th minute or so, and I'm hearing people like, you've got to pass the head. You've got to pass the head, but you got to do it with 2 hands. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go downstairs for halftime. What are you guys talking about? You got to pass the head. You got to pass the head. You got to grab 2 hands. You got to pass the head. I'm like, okay. So I guess this is a new game, and they picked our row in the row above us. So it's a competition where you have a fat head, and I believe we had Evander, and I think they had Matt Miazga. I can't remember who they had. And it's like ready, set, go. And I'm towards the end of the row, not where it's starting, but where it's ending. And the row up top, they had their game plan down, and we didn't. And they passed it real fast. By the time I got it, I'm like, we're like 3. I mean, I can't throw it like a frisbee. So I had a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking on my performance on passing the head, saying I was too slow. But I'm like, look, I'm 6'3", 6'4". I'm passing it to my wife who's 5'3". So it's really, trying to do that. Try not to. As I was practicing, she goes, "Don't hit me in the head with your elbow." I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to keep my head. That's always like T-Rex arms trying to pass the darn thing. Make sure I don't hit anybody in the head because I have large chicken wings. But here's the thing. Here's the little thing. Is the row behind us? We know the people in the row behind us. They were actually at the away match in St. Louis when we were there. They're really good. They go, hey, we only need 1 Gary. That's what you got. The winner got Gary bobbleheads. I don't have a Gary bobblehead. And they go, hey, if you win, you give us one of your Garys, and if we win, we'll give you one of our Garys. And so they won. So at the end of the day, I got a Gary anyway.
Yeah.
Which I should probably bring. Maybe I'll put it on next podcast. I will bring my little Gary bobblehead and show you that. So that was kind of an interesting game.
Yeah.
I wasn't really prepared. I was more prepared to watching soccer than passing a fat head around, but it was fun. And then I guess we were on. Here's the last thing I'm going to say is that where I'm at in the Capo Retirement Village over at First Financial, is that all the cameras are pointed either to the Bailey or to the very expensive seats. They rarely shoot us, but because they were doing that game, then they did some kind of sway cam, and then we were on there for sway cam as well. It was like I had the most amount of time. Although I did see you, I think on Flex Cam, there was some other thing where it was like pregame. You were on pregame where they were just showing people, waving their arms or something, and you were sitting and talking with somebody. Yeah, but so you were on the Jumbotron too.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
People. We are Jumbotron famous.
Yes. Excellent.
So anything else before we head out?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to two wonderful people that have been brigade members and bastard members going back, and will be tying the knot this Saturday, and that is Todd Collins and Megan Garrity, and two wonderful people. And I'm going to be in attendance at that nutty nuptials, if you will. It should be a wonderful time with two wonderful people. So that is actually where I am going to be heading with one eyeball on the festivities and one eye on the match. So I'm sure that's going to be a few of us up there making sure that match is being watched.
Happy nuptials.
Oh, yeah.
Because I might have said something really personal.
And we're not even drinking.
Way to get married. Congratulations on your happy day. But I do have to go to the Philadelphia game. If this was like Orlando or Toronto, it would be a no-brainer. But sadly, I will be going to the game to watch the epic tilt.
Yes.
So that's all the time that we have here at FC Cincinnati. Let's hope for a win against Philadelphia, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining FCC Supporter Square. The hosts are Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffolk. The intro song is Quick on the Holster by the Stone Bunnies, and the ending song is Awesome Sauce, also by the Stone Bunnies. Thank you for listening. Please join us again.